Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawk. We are Minnesota.
The Twins are trying to go 3 for 3 in Detroit. They have turned their road trip around, and they now have a chance to sweep the Tigers with this series finale this afternoon. Going back to Kansas City, the Twins have strung together 3 consecutive wins on the road, and it's just the 3rd time this season that Minnesota has had a 3-game road winning streak. Welcome once again this afternoon to Comerica Park. I'm Marnie Gellner. One reason that the Twins have been able to get things rolling a little bit here is the starting pitching, the relief pitching, the opener and the primary pitcher. They've all done their jobs, but another big reason for that is the offense. Just up and down the lineup, Minnesota's hitters have been clicking. And it's been consistent this entire road trip, even those 4 games in Kansas City. So in total, 6 games on this road trip, the Twins are batting as a team .306 and averaging more than 5 runs per game. Pick a part of the lineup, that part of the lineup is producing. So the offense has been well balanced, and on this trip, very reliable.
I mean, there's obviously some things that are never going to change that we talk about when you're at home as opposed to road. And sometimes it's younger players and experienced players, and sometimes it's just how you play. And after a rough start to the trip, maybe missing a couple of chances at winnable games there, we've come back and played a little bit better baseball. A lot of it stems from having better pitching. And yeah, you know, to finish off a sweep here in Detroit would be a nice response to those first 3 games in Kansas City.
The lineup looks a little bit different here this afternoon, as is often the case for a day game after a night game. But Dick and Bert, the hope is that no matter where Paul Molitor is plugging guys right now, that offense just keeps on rolling.
And the biggest bat from one of the smallest guys in the lineup, Jorge Polanco, the way he's swinging the bat now, we're reminded what a great hitter he is and how much the Twins missed him during the first 80 games.
Well, you know, you mentioned last night's ball game. Polanco seems to be right in the middle of all these little rallies the Twins have been able to put together. What's nice to see is not one run here, one run there. It's the multi-run innings that this offense has been able to produce so far on this road trip, and Jorge Polanco has been a big part of that. Over his last 12 ball games, look at the average. He's hitting .335 as a left-handed hitter, and he'll be hitting left-handed starting the ball game here this afternoon.
About a year ago, the Twins had a 4-game sweep here in Detroit on their way to a postseason game. There'll be no postseason this year, but the Twins would still like to complete a 3-game sweep when we come back.
Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. It's a beautiful day, a cooler day, but the Twins hoping to complete a 3-game sweep here, and they will send, for the second time in this series, Gabriel Moya out to open the game for the Twins. Spencer Turnbull has pitched one big league inning, and today he'll make his big league start. And Moya has kind of warmed to the idea of being the opener.
Yeah, not only a second appearance here in Detroit, he also opened up in Kansas City about 6 days ago. So yeah, he's used to this, and he's pitched pretty well. He was the first opener that the Twins used back on September 2nd. This is his 4th opener as far as starting a ball game for Moya.
And so we'll see how he fares today as the Twins hope to complete a 3-game sweep and head to the Bay Area with a winning record on this road trip. Series 9 wins to 6. One more game here and then 3 at Target Field next week. And it's Marty Gellner's last broadcast, Twins broadcast of the year. So we want to thank her for all her great work during the baseball season.
Sure do.
The rest of us will head to the Bay Area after an off day tomorrow. The Twins will open up a series in Oakland Friday night. 5 sweeps for the Twins, including a 4-game sweep over the Orioles, a couple of 2-game sweeps. And here's the Twins batting order for the series finale, brought to you by Menards. Logan Forsythe in the leadoff spot, then Jorge Polanco, Jake Cave, Robbie Grossman, Max Kepler, Tyler Austin, A-Ray Adrianza, Williams Astudillo, and Gregorio Petit.
And today's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture. And that'll be Spencer Turnbull making his major league debut, his first major league start. He made his major league debut about 4 or 5 days ago in Cleveland and pitched 1 shutout inning. Basically a starter in the minor leagues. This is his, again, major league start in the minor leagues this year. Started mainly in AA, spent most of the summer there, and then made a couple starts in AAA. Got called up by the Tigers on September 11th.
Tigers out on the field, brought to you by Northland Ford. Jacoby Jones getting center field. Stewart is in left. Matuk is in right. Ronnie Rodriguez in for the injured Jamer Candelario. Cosma and Lugo up the middle. Adducey at first, and James McCann behind the plate.
Yeah, scouting report on Turnbull, 26 years old. They list him at 6'3", about 215, a fastball in the low 90s. He'll hit 95. Curveball, slider-like cutter, and a changeup.
Joe Mauer not in the lineup. Miguel Sano not in the lineup. Last time the Twins put a lineup out there like this, they had a romp in a big win in Kansas City. We'll see what happens here today. That started this 3-game winning streak for the Twins. And Forsythe is in the leadoff spot. Twins ended up winning that ball game 9-6. And a first pitch strike.
Jerry Lane, the crew chief, calling balls and strikes here this afternoon.
Chopper over the mound, but waiting for it is Lugo. On to first. Forsythe retired, 1 away. And that'll bring up Polanco. The average climbing on a daily basis for Polanco up to 292 because of the hot streak we talked about in the pregame show.
Yeah, it's sad that he missed the first 80 games of the year, because this young man right here, Polanco, will be part of the Twins' future. Just 25 years old. Of course, missed the first 80 games due to the PED suspension. And from this side of the plate, as I mentioned, it's hitting .335. He's got 6 home runs, 3 from both sides of the plate.
And from the time he got called up from A-ball for a handful of at-bats and games, he just gave you the impression that he is a hitter, that he'll hit. And he's proven that throughout last year and for the second half again this year. And a strike, 1-1. Turnbull, and again, these are minor league numbers since he only has 1 big league inning, but in the minor leagues he's pretty tough against left-handers.
Yeah, left-handers hitting only .222 off of him in 21 starts between AA and AAA, and right-handers hitting .252. So it tells you he's probably got a good moving fastball. That breaking ball might go down and in to left-handed hitters.
Missing inside. Oh, I beg your pardon. Jerry Lane called it a strike.
Good fastball. Got the lower part of the box that we show.
Jerry Lane behind the plate. Baker, Gibson, and Siegel on the bases.
I mentioned Jerry Lane because he's one of those umpires that'll take a little extra time to put that right hand up. You quite don't know if it's a ball or a strike. Okay, that's a ball.
At 96, a little low, I guess. And it's a full count with Cave on deck. High fly to short center field. Jones coming in. 2 down.
Let's take a look at our Pizza Ranch for the win for the Twins here this afternoon. What do they have to do? Continue the offense. We showed you at the top of the show the offense has been on fire as of late, especially on this road trip. So score some early runs and hopefully they hold up.
Bases empty, 2 down for Jake Cave. Strike at the knees.
Turnbull working ahead in the count. This is his 5th year in the Tiger organization. Their number 2 pick back in 2014 out of the University of Alabama.
0-2 to Cave. Off the handle of the bat.
That might be that little cutter right there off the fastball. Some people call it a slider. A little different. Slider will break maybe 6 to 8 inches. Cutter maybe 2 to 3 inches.
Just enough to get it off the barrel of the bat. 2 strikes. And a called 3rd strike. Painting the corner to 1-2-3 inning in Spencer Turnbull's first major league start. By all accounts, he's done a great job. We talked about Al Kaline's assessment of his spring training camp. Very organized. And the hope is that he'll be around when the Tigers are competitive again. They haven't been this year. Here's their Menards batting order, competitive in the sense of the standings. Jacoby Jones, Christian Stewart, Nicholas Castellanos, Mikey Matuk, Ronnie Rodriguez, James McCann, Jim Adduci, Dowell Lugo, and Pete Cosmo.
And for the 4th time this year, we'll take a look at today's starting pitcher stats. They're brought to you by Home Furniture. It'll be Gabriel Moya. And if it's not deja vu, he did work here on Monday night. He worked the first inning through 20 pitches, 15 for strikes and a shutout inning, and then Cole Stewart ended up pitching 6 very good innings and got the win.
It's the first time since the Twins have gone with this format where everything worked the way it's supposed to work. The opener pitched a scoreless first inning. The primary pitcher did a really good job. The bullpen did its job. The Twins scored first and won a ball game. 1 strike. And now ball. So maybe if Moya continues in this role for the rest of this year, maybe we'll have to come up with a new position. Not a designated hitter, but a DO, designated opener.
Well, being left-handed, you think Eddie Guardado is everyday Moya right now. He started here on Monday night, starting again. Well, opener here on Monday night, opener here on Wednesday afternoon.
That's why I brought a prop in the pregame show to help you think opener, because you know what an opener is.
To me, he's still a starter. He's starting the ball game.
1-2. And a strikeout of Jones to start the ball game, to open the ball game.
And Moya can pick up some strikeouts. That's 30 strikeouts in 32 2/3 innings.
Northland 4 defense for the Twins. Across the outfield, Grossman, Cave, and Kepler. Adrianza, Polanco, Petit, and Austin on the infield with Williams, Astudillo doing the catching. 1 down, and now Kristen Stewart.
Moya faced Stewart here on Monday night, and Stewart hit a fly ball to right field for an out.
Here's a foul fly into the seats. 1 strike.
Yeah, Ron Gardenhire, the Tigers want to look at this young man right here, 24 years old. Their #1 pick in 2015 out of the University of Tennessee. Christian Stewart got some pop in that bat. 23 home runs in the minors this year. Watch out.
And that brushed him. He'll go to first base. A hit batter sending Stewart to first.
For Moya, that's his first hit batsman of the season.
And that'll bring up Nicholas Castellanos.
Well, it looked like they tried to work inside. Well, actually, the ball just getting away from him. Just got the shoulder, look like, of Stewart.
Castellanos, the designated hitter today, has moved, of course, to the outfield where he's been an everyday right fielder, except on his DH days. Missing the inside corner, ball 1.
I think one thing we'll see next year from the Tigers, of course, it won't be Victor Martinez, but we'll see that DH role like a lot of clubs do. They just don't have a primary guy that just DHs, so they can utilize that designated hitter rule to give some guys off on the field, but still keep their bat in the lineup.
You know, and on the surface, there's a strike, 1-1. That makes sense to give everyone a bit of a break, but there are so many hitters, and we talked about Eddie Rosario doesn't like the DH. Miguel Sano doesn't like it. And even if it's on a 1 game a week or every other week basis, some hitters just don't care to fill that DH spot.
Well, if you're going to play 150 to 162 ball games throughout the season, Eddie Rosario or Sano, like you talked about, what are you going to do? Sit them out the whole game? Well, they got a chance to rest their feet a little bit on the defensive side, but still keep their, hopefully at that time, a hot bat in a lineup.
1-1. fouled off a leg. I remember talking with Joe Mauer when he was, transitioning to more DH duty once he'd moved out from behind the plate, and even when he was catching, and it's an adjustment, particularly for somebody like Joe as a catcher. You're involved so intimately with the game on a pitch-to-pitch basis. Then you're DHing and you're sitting there, 40 minutes between at bats. What do you do with your time?
You put the gear on and go play in the cage. Have guys throw balls into the dirt against you.
1-2. And that one skips by the reach of Polanco into left field. Castellanos should get a hit, and there'll be runners at first and second with one out.
Castellanos is the hottest hitter for the Tigers. He smoked that ball right there. One hop past Polanco. Would have been a great play if he was able to get this in his glove. Quickly that ball got past him. First hit of the ball game.
Now a chance for the Tigers to score first. Mikey Matuk drove in all 3 runs last night for the Tigers, and he's the cleanup batter here this afternoon. And ball 1. And Astudillo will use a trip to the mound here.
I think they were crossed up right there.
Polanco, or excuse me, Petit will come in to join the conversation.
Astudillo going out and making sure they're on what are we using.
And Alan Buznitz getting loose. A couple times ago, Moya was only able to get 2/3 of an inning in. Pitch count up to 11, only 1 out. Buznitz warming up in the event Moya continues to struggle here in the first inning. It's a changeup taken for a strike.
And he's got a good changeup. Moya just 23 years old, out of Venezuela. Came over to the Twins from the Arizona Diamondbacks, the John Ryan Murphy trade in July of last year.
And that hits the outside corner. Another changeup.
Moya mainly a reliever in the minor leagues. Now back in Single A in 2014, he made 12 starts for the Diamondbacks, but after that, mainly out of the bullpen.
Time called just as Moya was breaking from the stretch. Wow.
I think what I'm trying to say about Moya is he doesn't have a routine. Mostly, when guys start ball games, they'll have a routine. They'll play long toss. Moya probably maybe 5 minutes prior just went out to the bullpen and said, okay, it takes me 8 to 10 pitches to get loose. Let's go.
One and two. 2-2. You mentioned John Ryan Murphy. He's hitting just barely over 200 for the Diamondbacks.
That's about what he hit for us. He's more of a receiver than an offensive player.
Less than 200 at bats for the Diamondbacks. 2-2 to Matuk. 15th pitch of the inning. Breaking ball taken for ball 3.
Stayed off that slider.
The second time the Twins went with the opener concept. Trevor May was the opener. He gave up 4 first-inning runs to the Astros and Justin Verlander, and the game essentially was over with in the first inning. So the fact that Buznitz is warming up is a reaction to what happened a couple of weeks ago. And fouled back. You can't win the game in the first inning, but if you let the first inning.
Yeah, you could lose it in the first.
Yeah, if you let the first inning get away from you, as was the case for Trevor May, well, kind of takes the fun out of the rest of the ball game. 3-2. A well-placed ground ball could take care of matters here. Dave Clark fields the first hop.
With a 3-2 changeup, that's how confident he is in that pitch. Montek's hit in only 2 double plays. He's pretty quick out of that batter's box. Good speed.
Tigers as a team hit left-handers much better than right-handers, and they'll see a lot of left-handed pitching because Gonsalves eventually is going to take over the ball game. There's a well-placed ground ball.
Gotta be quick.
1 and 2, a double play.
Good turn.
And Moya pitches out of it and puts a 0 up in the first inning. A hit batter and a single, but he got out of it, put the 0 up as was required. Now he can take it easy. Kick back. He's done his job.
Smile a little bit.
Talk about DH is wondering how they're going to spend their time. And now Moya's done. He can sit in the dugout. He can go up in the clubhouse. Kick back, relax.
Stay here. Stay on the bench. Root for your players.
Robbie Grossman will lead things off against Spencer Turnbull. Outside, ball 1. Grossman, Kepler, and Austin in the Twins' second inning. And a strike, 1-1.
Now Turnbull's last start, that in AAA, that came on September 1st. That's when he was promoted to AAA, his second start.
And now 2-1. Yeah, he spent almost all of his season in Erie.
That's AA for the Tigers.
In the Eastern League. Laced to left center field, down for a hit. And Grossman will take a big turn, go into a slide, and retreat to first with a leadoff single. Another good at bat for Robbie Grossman.
And a good job by Stewart out in left field, cutting that ball off and keeping Grossman at first base.
First hit that Turnbull has allowed, and so we'll see him And the Tigers will see him pitch from the stretch for the first time.
Yeah, in his relief outing against the Indians, he had a 1-2-3 inning. He did have a strikeout of Jan Gomes.
Kepler will bat. Ball one low. With the possibility that Eddie Rosario's season is done, Kepler might end up with the most plate appearances on the team this year. And as Paul Molitor discussed it a couple of weeks ago, it is a grind when your team isn't winning and you're playing in September, especially when you come off of September like the Twins had last year, where every game was important. They came here to Detroit, swept the Tigers in a 4-game series, and you don't feel as fatigued when you're playing for something in the playoffs.
Well, one thing about Max Kepler, he has kept himself pretty healthy.
Yeah.
In a Twins uniform. Last year, 147 games played in. For Max here today, this is 148th game.
This will be his 574th plate appearance. And Rosario right now is 591. Full count to Kepler. And another foul.
Max made his major league debut here in Detroit back in 2015 as a September call-up back on September 27th of 2015.
Steven Gonsalves warming up for the second inning. Full count to Kepler. There goes Grossman, and the pitch bounced foul. Last year Kepler hit 19 home runs. He's hit 19 home runs this year. Last year he hit 243, and right now he's at 226. RBIs are down, but the strikeouts are down as well. And the walks have gone way up. 47 walks last year, 67 walks this year. On base percentage up a little bit from what it was at .312 last year. See if he can get aboard here and see if the Twins can build an inning against Spencer Turnbull. Grossman goes again, and the pitch is wide. A nice walk taken by Kepler. First and second, nobody out for Tyler Austin. Today's BP Brighter Picture shines the spotlight on the Twins hitters who've been swinging it pretty well, second only to the Dodgers in team batting average over the last 7 games.
The Dodgers had another walk-off this victory last night.
Watched a little bit of that game. Couldn't stay with it till the end. Well, I could have, but I chose not to. First and second, nobody out. And the first pitch on the outside corner, a strike. Twins 9-6 against the Tigers, and they'd like to recover from a poor start to the month of September. Right now they're 7-10 in September. Bounced foul 0-2. The Twins monthly have just kind of bobbed at the surface ever since the slow start and the 8-game losing streak on the road. Tampa and New York. 9-15 in March and April, then 13-15, 13-14, 14-13, 14-14. And they'd like to finish with a good month in September. 2 strikes to Austin. catch by McCann. 1-2. Better catch by McCann, and it's 2-2. Turnbull in kind of the same situation Moya found himself in the bottom of the first. Had a jam to try to work out of. Got ahead of Austin 0-2, but now it's 2-2. That is hit to center field, a base hit. Grossman around third. He's coming in. Jones firing a throw all the way to the plate, and that will allow Kepler to go to third. So an RBI single by Austin. And the more the Twins can see that from him in two-strike situations, the better off his future is going to be.
Yeah, picking up his 16th run batted in a Twins uniform, his 39th overall. And a fastball right there, and he lined it into a little bit of right center. Jones, Jacoby Jones charges it. Grossman scores the first run of the ball game. So runners at their corners with nobody out.
And now Adrianza will hit. That was a really good at bat by Austin. Fell behind 0-2. Took a strike, fouled one off. Took a couple pitches to get something he could hit on 2-2 and got the RBI single. Adrianza takes outside a ball.
I think what we saw prior to that was two wasted pitches from Turnbull that weren't even close to being down and away. So the young man maybe a little bit on the nervous side, trying to overthrow that slider to get the final out. And then he had to come in and came in with a fastball that Austin took advantage of.
That's to the left field corner, but foul. And it's 1-1.
Adrianza getting more playing time. Of course, Sano on the disabled list and not playing today. I think Adrianza's done a good job. He plays so many different positions. His job right here, pick up a run. 4-2.
Austin back to the bag. I think what he's done for the Twins in the last 2 years is has convinced a lot of people that he can do what he's done on a championship ball club. Utility player who can fill in a lot of different positions, a switch hitter. He's probably hit a little bit better than the Twins thought when they got him. Now this one dumped foul down the left field line.
Well, remember the Twins went out and got a guy named Eduardo Escobar that kind of came through the Twins with that same type of role that Adrianza's put in, and then through to injuries and PEDs, Escobar got a chance to shine.
PED used by others, not by Escobar.
Yes.
1-2. And that is a base hit to left field. Another two-strike single, scoring another run, and it's 2-0.
Well, Turnbull leaving a pitch up right there, looked like a slider. So Adrianza picks up an RBI, his 37th of the year, as Kepler makes it a 2-0 lead.
Rick Anderson's going to come to the mound. 3 singles and a really important walk by Kepler to help the Twins build an inning here.
Yeah, see the breaking ball, might have been a changeup. Yeah, it was a changeup. It just kind of floated over the plate, and Adrianza waited back nicely and hit it into left field.
Kepler scoring 2-0. Still some work to be done. First and second, nobody out, and Williams Astudillo will be the batter.
And I think this is what we have seen, with this offense. It's not picking up one run here. It's the multi-run innings that this club's been able to put up, especially here in Detroit.
Just you like to see something that resembles a two-strike approach, with 2 strikes toning some things down. Adrian's is hit to the opposite field. Austin kind of hit his to right center field, not trying to pull everything, but making contact, and sometimes good things will happen.
Well, they always say good pitching, you know, it kind of follows each other, and so same thing for good hitting. Guys get hot. Here on Monday night, they had that 4-run 4th inning where they had 6 hits in that inning.
Right.
In last night's ball game, they won 5-3, basically scored the 5 runs in 2 innings when they had a total of 6 hits, a 2-run inning and a 3-run inning.
Astudillo took a strike. I don't know that I've said that before.
I bet he doesn't take another.
And now it's 0-2 to Astudillo.
Astudillo coming into the ball game hitting .305, and over his last 8 ball games, couple home runs, driven in 7, and he has scored 4 times.
59 at bats, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Now he's behind in the count, 0-2. And a bouncer up the line, foul.
Well, we've told you the numbers before in the minor leagues. This man doesn't strike out much at all. Actually, in the minor leagues, he struck out less than the walks he had. Minor leagues, he had 80 walks, he had 76 strikeouts, and over 2,100 at bats. Pitch number 25 this inning coming toward home plate for Spencer Turnbull. Through 12 only in the first.
And now 1-2. Another one of those breaking balls that really wasn't competitive. He threw a couple of those to Austin. Can't see any bullpen activity for the Tigers. They've already used a trip to the mound. They want to get a look at Turnbull and see if he can do some damage control here in the second. Bounced foul.
A couple of times he's thrown that 2-seamer down and in, and Astudillo just fouling it off. One time, the first time he fouled it into his leg.
Big thrill in the last homestand, a walk-off home run. One of his 3 home runs he's hit in just 59 at bats. And a balk is called, so there's no pitch, no strikeout, and a balk is called, and the turmoil continues for Spencer Turnbull. I don't know if he didn't stop or what happened, but the balk, I think, was called by the second base umpire, Greg Gibson.
I don't believe he came to a complete stop. Let's take a look right here.
Yep, second base umpire Greg Gibson called it. So no pitch. 1-2 now with 2 men in scoring position, and the ball dribbled foul out. If the pitch is thrown and if Astudillo hits a home run, the Twins can opt to decline the balk, much like in football you can decline a penalty. But in this case, Astudillo swung and missed, but if he'd gotten a run producing hit, the team has the option of declining the balk and taking the play instead.
I think Greg Gibson yelled it so loud we heard it up here.
Yeah.
It probably scared the heck out of Astudillo, and he swung through that sinker down and in.
1-2. 2-2. It's just been a nightmarish inning for Turnbull, starting with Grossman's single. Kepler had a really good plate appearance, drawing a walk, a couple of RBI singles with 2 strikes, a balk. Got ahead of Astudillo 0-2. Now it's 2-2, and a chopper toward the hole. A run will score, and Astudillo will drive in a run. The balk comes into play because the runners were able to advance, and coming in from third base is Austin.
Astudillo picking up his 12th RBI of the year with that 6-3 putout, and both runners advance. course, Austin scores, and Adrianza moves over to third.
Now Petit, 12 hits in 39 at bats, a 308 average.
Infield in for the Tigers. They'll try to cut down a run here.
Strike on the outside corner. Every week on Wednesdays, I do a radio show in Fargo on WDAY, and one of the questions today was what makes a good clubhouse guy. Well, this guy's a great clubhouse guy. Chop foul 0-2. Always ready to play. Went back and forth a couple of times. Very positive with his teammates. One of the friendliest guys you'd ever want to meet. And just happy to put on the uniform, and he'll give you everything he's got. Just exactly what you would want from a good clubhouse guy.
Yeah, Petit's been around the block too. He's been with 6 different clubs now, up and down.
Chop foul again. Boy, the Twins are beating that sinker into the ground. As he was going into the stretch there, Adrianza made a quick dash toward home. Only took about 3 steps, but the intent there is to maybe draw another balk from Turnbull. And another 0-2 pitch coming. 32nd pitch of the inning for Turnbull. And coming home, Adrianza with a really good read on that ball. He scores on the ground out, and it's 4-0.
And Petit picking up his 3rd RBI for the Twins. And the Twins take a 4-0 lead. So good base running. Really by Adrianza when he was at second base. He advanced to third on that ground ball to short. So just kind of reaching out, getting it past the pitcher, middle of the infield. Lugo throws out Petit. Petit picks up the RBI.
3 hits, none of them pulled. A walk, good base running, productive outs. It's all added up to a 4-run inning. 1-0.
And Moya's probably saying, I think I got 4 more innings in me.
Petit playing at second base, and Forsythe in the DH spot. Bench players for the Twins listed. Get an update from Marnie shortly on this, but Jimenez, Field, Garver, Sano, Mauer, and Rosario. 2-1.
Turnbull again making his first major league start, his 2nd major league appearance.
Popped up short right field. And coming in to make the catch is Matuk to end the inning, but a good one for the Twins as they score 4 against Turnbull.
Backing up 4 runs in the second inning for a 4-0 lead. I have your scoop from the clubhouse now for the Twins. Eddie Rosario and Mitch Garver have both flown back to Minneapolis. Rosario is going to have an MRI on that injured quad, and neither was expected to play on this road trip. And Twins have not confirmed this, but there is a good chance that both guys are done playing for the season. Logan Forsythe is the DH today for the Twins. He's in the leadoff spot, just looking for a different combination there. Paul Molitor talked about how Forsythe is able to get on the bases, move around them quickly, hopefully garner a little offense for the team that way. And Miguel Sano is not in the starting lineup today. He struggled last night at the plate, physically still not 100%, so the Twins are just backing off him today, though Sano is available off the bench this afternoon, Dickenberg.
All right, thank you, Marty, and thanks for all your good work again this year. Ground ball to third. Adrianza scoops and fires one away. And Steven Gonsalves right now is saying, hey, it worked for Cole Stewart a couple of times. Maybe it'll work for me. I enter the game. I've got the lead. If I pitch well enough, I can get my first big league win.
Gonsalves making his 6th career appearance. Made his major league debut back in August against the White Sox at home. His last outing came in Kansas City in a relief appearance. So this would be his 5th. What do we call it? Primary?
He's the primary. That's a phrase that Paul Molitor coined, and it fits perfectly for. I mean, you'd like to think Gonsalves will pitch most of the ball game, the primary pitcher. And if he gives up some runs, but he gives up runs on hits, I don't think anybody will mind. What they really want him to do is drastically cut down on the number of walks. 15 and now 2/3 innings pitched and 17 walks.
And then the 24 hits allowed.
Yeah.
You add that together, that's about 2 base runners an inning on an average. That's not good.
1 and 2, and James McCann with a look back at Jerry Lane. 1 and 2. A Ducey will follow. Off the plate with a fastball. A couple years ago, Gonsalves was the Twins minor league pitcher of the year. And missing his spot, and it's 3 and 2.
Well, 4-run lead, pretty much. Astudillo is going to sit right down the heart of the plate. Give me a fastball right there. Hopefully McCann gets himself out. No free passes.
Bounced foul.
And this is where a lot of times, you know, the scoreboard dictates how you're going to go about your business. You know, 4-run lead early in the ball game, make him swing and earn his way on.
And he got him.
And you keep pounding that strike zone, sometimes hitters will miss. Gonsalves picking up a strikeout, his first.
Last 3 fastballs were 93, 91, and 90. And that's out number 2 here in the second inning. That'll bring up Jim Ducey. Swung on and missed. Ducey with some decent numbers. They kind of stand out, frankly, in this Tiger lineup, with Candelario maybe their best young hitter, but even he's not hitting for a high average. But you're looking at the batting averages here, and you got Castellanos and you got Ducey, and then a bunch of guys that are hitting in the low 200s. 0-2 to Ducey. Very high.
And you're looking at a guy that's 33 years old, 13 years in the minor leagues. He had a couple years that he played in Korea. Not a lot of major league at-bats coming to the Tigers. Came up with the Rangers back in 2013.
Might not even be here if not for the injury to Miguel Cabrera. It was against the Twins. First time the Twins came to Detroit. And he popped a biceps tendon. Hopes to be 100% next spring.
Yeah, Ducey was down in the minor leagues. Got called up first part of July.
2-strike weak swing, a ground ball to Petit, and a really good first inning for Gonsalves as he enters the game in the second inning.
Bay left-hander Blake Snell threw 5 scoreless innings last night against the Rangers. In the process, picked up his 200th strikeout, but also his MLB-leading 20th win of the season. Snell is just the second Rays pitcher ever to have 20 wins. David Price is the other one who did it in 2012. And how about this, Dick and Bert? The Rays have won 13 of their last 16 games.
Building a little momentum for next year. Thank you, Marnie. So the question is, regarding the American League Cy Young Award, why not Blake Snell? I mean, wins are still important. He's got more than anybody else. ERA is still important, and he's significantly better than anybody else in the league. A sub-2 ERA. Next on the ERA list is Trevor Bauer. What about innings pitched? Well, he's a little on the short side there compared to Corey Kluber, Verlander. Here's a drive to left center field, and gliding after it is Jones. He makes the catch, and Polanco's retired.
Well, you got to look at the 20 and 5, a 1.97 ERA, and the way that he has pitched. I mean, definitely going to be in the top 3 as far as possible vote getters.
Everybody else, you know, you can say, well, you can come up with a reason maybe why he shouldn't win. Sale hasn't pitched enough innings in the minds of many people. Verlander has, but his ERA is quite a bit higher than Snell's. One down, and now Cave bounces it foul. Lowest opponent batting average in the league, Blake Snell. And now a foul the other way, and it's 0-2.
Well, Turnbull trying to have a quicker third inning. 37 pitches used in the second inning after 12 in the first.
And taken low. Ground to the shortstop on the other side of the infield. 2 down. And that'll bring up Robbie Grossman. Grossman started the 4-run second inning with a single or pizza or DQ combination. 16 home runs in the last 6 against the Tigers. Therein lies one of the issues for Detroit. They haven't pitched particularly well this year.
Yeah, their ERA actually is better than the Twins coming into this ball game, but they have given up the long ball. They've given up 199 home runs. Twins have given up 191.
Tigers with an ERA of 4.5. Twins with a 4.60 ERA. Missing the outside corner. Grossman takes ball 1.
The biggest thing for the Tigers, lack of runs scored. They've scored the least amount of runs in the American League. Excuse me, Baltimore scored 7 runs fewer.
But the Orioles, 108 losses, a new Baltimore record. Fouled away. And the Orioles, as we begin play here on September 19th, are 60 games out of first. I don't know in the years I've been doing this where I've ever seen a team 60 games out of first place. And we still have a week and a half to go. Fly ball right center field. It'll carry to Jones, who ends the inning, and it's a much better inning for Spencer Turnbull. Series presented by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. And by Grand Casino, the best stories start here. Twins won the final game in Kansas City, trying to make it 4 straight. Gonsalves out there throwing strikes. Twins love to see that. He gets ahead of Lugo, 0-1.
4 batters faced, 4 getting ahead in the count with strike 1.
Missing there, 1-1. Had a chance to look it up during the inning break. We're talking about the Orioles being 60 games out of first. The ball hit to left. And reaching up to pull it down is Grossman for the first out. The worst team I think you or I have ever seen was the 2003 Tigers. Remember, we were here to finish the season, and they won the last game, even though they had a player play all 9 positions. Shane Halter played all 9 positions, but they won the ball game to avoid their 120th loss. They lost 119 games that year. The Twins won the division that year with 90 wins. So as bad as they were in 2003, they were only 47 games out. Only 47 games out at the end of the year.
What year was that?
2003.
In 2006, the Detroit Tigers went to the World Series. So you don't know. You have the good and the bad.
I don't know if I'm going to put too much money on the Orioles going to the World Series 3 years from now, but
you never know.
that's down the right field line, and there will be no play. So far, so good for Gonsalves. 20 pitches, 14 strikes, and if he can pitch with that strike percentage, then that'll go a long way toward getting him turning the corner. 1-2. Weak little pop up, and that'll end up behind the Twins dugout. Cosma 7 hits, 46 at bats. Down the right field line, and Kepler crosses the line barely, makes a foul ball catch, 2 away. And that'll get us to Jacoby Jones. 2019 Twins season tickets are on sale. Season ticket holders get the best seats at the best price and automatically become part of the Sweet Spot Rewards and Benefits program. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/season tickets or by calling 800-33-TWINS. Twins, of course, had a dramatic turnaround from year to year, 2016 to 2017, losing 103 ball games and then winning 85 and getting to the playoffs. 0-2.
Oh, what about that 1990 club? And how they did in 91? Didn't they go from worst to first?
They went from worst to first. Won 74 ball games in 90. And 95 the next year. Some pretty key free agent acquisitions. 1-2 to Jones. Wasn't just Jack Morris. I mean, pretty much every move the Twins made that year worked. Even Steve Bedrosian pitched some valuable innings. A former Cy Young Award winner, Mike Pagliarulo, Chili Davis.
They did the same thing after the '86 season, you know, bringing in Jeff Reardon and Al Newman and Keith Atherton.
2-2 to Jacoby Jones. Just missed the corner with a changeup. Pretty good pitch, but he didn't get the call, and that runs the count full. So far, 5 up, 5 down for Gonsalves, and that was off the plate. And that one was as well, a 2-out walk. That'll bring up Stewart.
Well, walks are not strange to Gonzalez. You look at his minor league records, you know, he's averaging almost 4 walks per 9 innings in the minor league, so control has always been an issue. Even this year, you know, down in the minor leagues, worked a total of 120 2/3 innings. He had 65 walks, but he was combined 12-3 with an ERA under 3 at 2.76.
And the walks were really an issue up until the last 2 months. His last 8 starts for Rochester, the control was much better. Started the year in Chattanooga, only pitched 20 innings there. And just over 100 innings for Rochester. Roller to second, and the 2-out walk does no damage. Another good inning for Stephen Gonzalez. Looking scoreboard.
Well, the Twins had another multi-run inning. That coming in the second inning, 3 hits. RBI by Taylor Austin. Adrianza gets an RBI single, then a couple ground ball outs, created a couple more runs. The Twins have that 4-0 lead.
Brought up a good point when you singled out Adrianza's base running, because his ability to advance to third on a ground ball in front of him, allowing him to score on the next ground ball, that was a big play, getting from second to third base. Twins are hitting now here in the 4th, starting with Max Kepler, who drew a walk in that inning. There's a ball lofted to left. Stewart with the catch, 1 quick out.
Well, a lot of times when you're a runner at second base, you're told if the ball is hit to your right, meaning, you know, toward third base or short, you want to hang around second. But I think he saw that that ball had that high chop, and the third baseman had to go after it, so it kind of left third base open, and he scooted over there. So yes, very good base running.
And then coming in from third on a ball hit right up the middle, but it got by the pitcher and he was able to score handily. 1 down, and now Austin fell behind 0-2, then on a 2-2 pitch, lined an RBI single to center. Strike 1. Twins in search of win number 71 today. Still have an outside chance, a remote chance to finish the season with a .500 record. They've got to win out here. It'll be tough in Oakland. We've seen this team play awfully well at home, but a tough series, and it should be a fun series this weekend against the Athletics. Lost a game in the wild card standings to the Yankees yesterday. Big swing and a miss, 1-2.
Yeah, the curveball right there by Turnbull. Turnbull's retired 7 straight now. A couple of those first ones created RBIs, but settling down.
Checked his swing successfully. A's have lost 3 in a row at a critical time for them. Well, the way they played, of course, they'd like to have the home field advantage, but they played awfully well on the road too. 44-31. Full count to Austin. And another base hit. Didn't hit it particularly well, but he's starting to pick up some hits that aren't home runs. 1 out single here in the 4th.
They got jammed right there, but strong enough to get it through the infield.
Coming up Friday, September 28th. Zubaz Palooza. Who wouldn't look nice wearing a pair of those?
You.
Thank you. Special ticket package. You don't even have to think about that. It's a special ticket package. It includes a game ticket and your very own limited edition Minnesota Twins Zubaz pants. Take advantage of the special offer by logging on to twinsbaseball.com/Zubaz.
Yeah, I apologize. It just came out. It just flew out of my mouth when you were reading that.
Why would we call it? There's only one item. There's a philosophical question. Why do we call them a pair of Zubaz? It's only one item, right?
Sure.
Pair of socks, I get. There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Pair of pants. It doesn't make any sense. Should be just pant. I really like those.
Pant?
That pant.
That just doesn't sound right.
1-0 to Adrianza. Into the right field corner. Austin rounding second on his way to third. And he is going to be held at third on Adrianza's double. The ball juggled, and now he's coming home, and he'll score. The throw was juggled in the infield, and Austin, who had stopped, started up again and scored.
It's a good job by Gene Glenn. I was watching him. You know, a lot of times you want that runner. It's a double, and, you know, is that ball going to get played properly out in right field? Matuk did do a good job, but the throw was offline. I don't know if we get a chance to watch Austin right here get around third base, but Gene Glenn is waving him in. That means, okay, hustle, okay, now slow down, and then it's up to Austin right there to see the ball gets away and dives in across the plate safely. So good job by Gene Glenn. You want that runner to think he's going to score and then hold him up, which he did, because the only reason he scored because the throw got away.
Right. That wasn't the decoy move that Eddie Rosario uses so well. The ball was mishandled in the infield. There should be an error on the play.
Right.
And no run batted in for Adrianza. Error is charged to Matuk in right field. Drilled to left. It is back and gone off the fence. And Adrianza will score from second base. And Astudillo has a double, and it's 6-0.
Yeah, back-to-back doubles here. Astudillo. There's that chain link fence that you can kind of see where the bullpen is, and right off the, just below the home run padding. So Astudillo getting a good wood on this ball. Ball left in, opened up quickly, over the head of Stewart. You can see hitting into chain link fence and bouncing around.
I saw it bounce around out there. That's why I thought it was a home run. The replay brought to you by Ram, but it looked like it hit the both padded barriers out there. And the Twins with 3 straight hits, and they've done a wonderful job bunching things together against Turnbull. Rick Anderson with the 3rd trip to the mound, and frantic bullpen activity for the Tigers. Already down 6-0.
And another multi-run inning put on here by the Twins offense. So Astudillo picking up his first major league double. Finally got that. He had that triple, but now he has a double.
Yahtzee. He's got one in every column now.
Picking up his second run batted in, now with 13 on the year.
And Petit drove in a run with a ground ball his first time up. Mr. Farmer warming up. So 2 runs batted in for Astudillo. Still only 1 out in the inning. Over for a strike.
Petit did a good job of making contact. He had 2 strikes on him when he got that ball that was down and lined it right back up the middle for the RBI ground out.
That's really been the story of the early innings. The Twins having some really good at-bats with 2 strikes, whether they be hits, productive outs, and now Petit's up there again with an 0-2 count. Fouled away.
The lower part of the lineup for the Twins, 6 through 8, really doing a lot of the damage. 5 for 6 with Austin, Adrianza, and Astudillo.
Another 2-strike pitch to Petit.
Oh, watch out, Gene Glenn.
Standing about where Dave Clark's been standing in this series, well outside the coach's box. You like my idea? I mean, they should really enforce that, don't you think?
I think it's hard. You know, I think, you know, Gene Glenn would say, you know, he wants to get back like he is right now to get a good read on the middle infielders where that ball is hit.
Well, he can move then after the pitch. I just don't want anybody to get hurt. We put helmets on coaches now because someone in the minor leagues was killed by a line drive. Petit strikes out, 2 down. And Forsythe will bat.
But I think that first base coach, you never see the first base coach like Jeff Smith. You know, he's usually behind the bat.
Right.
So it was just an accident. Sad to say, it took somebody's life.
Missing ball 1.
Curveball picking up his second strikeout, striking out Petit for the second out of the inning. It's been a rough go in his major league debut. Innings 1 and 3 were fine. It's 2 and number 4 that has hurt him so far. 4 in the second, 2 here in the fourth.
Some teams like the Tigers are resistant to using the opener concept, but it's meant for pitchers like Turnbull who haven't proved themselves at the big league level. And a strike, it's 1-1.
Some clubs just don't like that theory.
Right. They say in Kansas City, Ned Yost doesn't like it, doesn't want to use it, but he's got a bunch of young pitchers that
You gotta teach them to get through the first couple 2-3 innings. I mean, Turnbull here had a 1-2-3 first inning, so
get him out of there. Maybe use an opener. 2-1. That's hit to center, hit fairly well, but Jones is there. Twins with 3 consecutive hits score a couple more runs in the fourth. Tigers have hit left-handed pitching very well. Well, taking a look at today's AARP, one of the main reasons why they've hit left-handers so well is Nicholas Castellanos is hitting almost 400 against lefties.
Well, he's having a real good year. He's close to 300, hitting 296 coming in this ball game. Picked up a base hit in his first at bat, the only hit so far for the Tigers.
Up and away, ball one. And that statistically is one of the big disappointments for the Twins this year. Their difficulty in hitting left-handed pitching. Hitting just 244 against lefties. And the right-handers that you'd expect would punish left-handed pitching. Sano's hitting 186 against lefties. Buxton was hitting 111, just 18 at bats, but just 111. Adrianza with the pick and the high throw, and back on the bag is Austin to get the out. A high throw from Adrianza. It's a dangerous play because Castellanos was putting his foot on the bag at about the same time Austin was landing on it.
Actually, pretty nice play by Austin right there because the throw was high, but when he leaped, he went straight up. He didn't go forward. He kind of went straight up, and his momentum, of course, coming down right back on the bag. So a bang bang play at first base. Austin going up, getting that right foot on the bag.
And now ball one to Mato, just continuing the discussion. You know, Mitch Garver hitting just 204 against lefties. And it's something that's going to have to improve next year. Maybe health will be a big part of the recovery if Sano's healthy and Buxton's healthy and playing every day. Twins torched left-handed pitching in the last couple months of last year. Buxton hit 282, Sano 297, Dozier 331. 2-2 to Matuk. And Astudillo getting the attention of somebody over by the Twins dugout. Don't know what that was about. 2-2. Chopper to short. Played by Polanco. Off target again, and another nice play by Austin. This one was wide right. Forgive me, Viking fans. But Austin made the catch and the tag before he got to the bag.
Oh, ouch. That hurt. Austin did a good job right there. Saving his infielders maybe a couple of errors.
Actually,
tagging out Matuk.
2 down. That's a good play by Austin, and that too a dangerous play. Every once in a while you'll see a first baseman injure his glove hand. Happened to Harmon Killebrew in 1965. Dislocated his elbow on a play similar to that. Looks like Austin's okay. 1-0. Back in the strike zone. Very encouraging outing for Gonsalves, who's had the luxury of pitching with a comfortable lead here, but 41 pitches, 27 strikes. 1-2. And a changeup gets him. Good inning for Gonsalves. A 1-2-3-4, and he's got a 6-0 lead. fun in the dugout, easy to do when you're winning, and they are winning, and the Pepsi fans of the game are enjoying it. Beautiful. It's not fall yet, I don't think, but it's a beautiful late summer afternoon here in Detroit, and the Twins are on their way perhaps to a sweep, and Mr. Farmer will come in and pitch for Detroit.
Yeah, Buck Farmer making an appearance here. Spencer Turnbull made his major league start here. It just didn't pan out the way that I'm sure he would have liked it, but now being relieved in the 5th inning. Buck Farmer making his 62nd relief appearance.
Face Polanco, Cave, and Grossman in the Twins' 5th.
Farmer is a young man that the Tigers were hoping he would fit into the starting rotation. It just never really panned out for him. Up and down over the last 4 years, and made his major league debut back in 2014, but never got that starting role assignment where he found any consistency. So now in the bullpen.
1 strike to Polanco. And a foul, 0-2. You know, the more you watch the game, or at least the more I watch it, you know, the Twins have had a lot of pitchers like Buck Farmer. You look at the velocity and the stuff, how well they can spin the ball. And unless it's lights out, unless it's like Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, somebody like that, you really don't know whether it's going to click for them until you see them at this level. You can look at minor league numbers, and if they've had success at AA and AAA, you can make an educated guess that they can take the next step, but you really don't know until they get here. That's to left field, and caught by the left fielder Stewart. 1 down with 1 away in the Twins' 5th. Let's go to Marty Gelder.
Let's look at our big story now. The Yankees and the Red Sox in the Bronx last night. 7th inning, 2 runners on for Neil Walker, and he hit a bomb. That is Walker's 10th home run of the season. That means the Yankees now have 11 different players with double-digit home runs this season. That ties the major league record. And those were the only 3 runs the Yankees needed in that win. Beat the Red Sox 3-2, and at least for one more day, the Red Sox division clinching celebration is postponed.
Yeah, the champagne's still on ice. Bounced to second, scooped up by Lugo. 2 down. And the next batter will be Robbie Grossman.
Play the new Vikings scratch games from the Minnesota Lottery. With a top prize up to $100,000, it pays to be a fan.
Yeah, Dick, you're going into what makes a good starter. A young guy like Buck Farmer, you look at his minor league numbers, are pretty intriguing. You know, he pitched well, mainly as a starter all the time in the minor leagues. Came up here in 2014, didn't pan out over the last 4 years. Given some opportunities to start, and came into this year 5-11 with an ERA at 6.8.
Yeah.
And doing a lot better in his role now. As kind of a long man out of that bullpen. Got a good fastball, good moving fastball, slider, changeup.
Again, if he's got all that, then you'd think he'd be able to take the next step, and he just hasn't been able to do that yet. And again, every organization has pitchers like that you hear about them now in the minor leagues. Hey, this guy's good. He's done this. He's able to do this, and then you bring them up here, and
that's
you can't measure something that's internal, right?
Yeah, it's like best way to describe it: single A, double A, triple A. That's nice, but boy, between triple A and the big leagues is the biggest step you could make in your life if you're a baseball player. There is such a difference between triple A ball and the big leagues.
1 and 2.
Saw Matt Hall, one of the left-handers, getting loose.
Grossman toward the hole. Nice pickup by Rodriguez, and Grossman will beat out an infield hit. A shift beater.
You know, until the hitters like Grossman and other hitters do exactly what he did right there. We saw it, I believe it was yesterday or Monday. He did the same thing. Let the ball get deeper into the strike zone and just slapping at the ball the other way. You got your third baseman basically playing short. And your shortstop over on the second base side, so why not? They're giving it to you, take it.
Kepler with a walk and a run scored and a fly ball to left. Same shift out there for Kepler. Takes a strike. Missing inside, 1-1. Splits still pretty stark for Kepler, hitting .250 against lefties, .217 against righties. Fly ball short center field. Jones comes in, makes the catch, the inning ends, and Grossman's left aboard. Still 6-0 Twins. Stanford Health injury report. Bad news for the Cubs with forearm pain. Closer Brandon Morrow will be shut down for the rest of the year. Pedro Strop out with a hamstring injury that may end his season. And so the Cubs suddenly with a vacancy at the back end of their bullpen. Meanwhile, they've got a 3.5 game lead over Milwaukee in the division standings. First pitch to James McCann, outside ball 1. And for the first time in the big leagues, we've seen Steven Gonsalves settle in here. 3 effective innings in a row without a hit allowed. 1-1.
His longest outing came 5 innings in his second start in August when he worked 5 innings against the Oakland A's in Minnesota. Ended up losing that ball game.
Gave up 7 hits and again 4 walks. So far this afternoon, only 1 walk and another foul ball, 1-2.
Hey, he's attacking the strike zone. You're right, Dick. 46 pitches, 31 over the plate. So 2 to 1 ratio.
The comfort of a big lead. And it just looks like he's in a nice rhythm out there so far. Slow breaking ball.
Big curveball right there. That's a curveball that struck out Ramirez to end last inning.
McCann lucky to get a piece of it.
Fastball not overpowering. You can get 93, 94. Spike tight curveball, and that's that last one we talked about. He's got the slider and then the changeup.
Another breaking ball down and in to even the count.
Big thing, focus too. Keep your focus, keep your eyes on the target.
tempo is better, less time between pitches, all of it. Driven to right, and in the shadow of the light standard, catches made by Kepler.
And when you're aggressive, you know, even though that fastball's right there, the hitter, they get themselves out.
Twins fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports North and Twins baseball wherever you go. One down and now a Ducey. And strike one, and so many first pitch strikes, getting ahead, a better than 2-to-1 strike to ball ratio. You know, we've talked about this before. I don't think I was working with you, but you know, I've likened this opener concept to almost being like training wheels for a young pitcher. And then at some point, and maybe not even this year, you'd like to think that the player, in this case Gonsalves, could talk to his pitching coach and his manager and say, hey, take the training wheels off. Let me start. I feel comfortable enough out there to actually start the ball game.
Well, I'm glad you like it. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. But if it works, it works. It's a different game of baseball. You know, they won't do it for Barrios. They won't do it for Gibson. They won't do it for Odorizzi. You know, these young men, Gonsalves, Stewart, if they are two individuals or three individuals that you look to hopefully one day win a pennant with, you have to let them learn to get through the first,
right,
you know, into the third time up, get them out.
Well, I guess that's kind of where I was getting to at some point, whether it's Gonsalves or Garvin Alston, Paul Mahler, they'll take the training wheels off, and I just don't think it's a bad way for a young pitcher to get introduced to the big leagues, and the results have been certainly effective in Tampa Bay, and we're starting to see some of the positive results here with the Twins. Swung on and missed, a strikeout of a Ducey.
And strikeout number 3. So good fastball away, and a Ducey swinging through it. Fastball at 90 miles an hour.
And now Lugo, line to left, his first time up.
And another strike one. 8 of 13 first pitch strikes.
Out of the reach of the pitcher, barehanded by Polanco, and he throws him out.
Nice play.
Another 1-2-3 inning for Gonsalves. He's given the Twins 4 no-hit innings. by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Ram. Hurry in and get a great deal during Ram Power Days. Twins trying to complete a 3-game sweep in Detroit at about the same time of the year last year. They completed a 4-game sweep. Leading 6-0. Matt Hall will pitch next for the Tigers.
Yeah, Matt Hall just getting called up on the 11th of this month. Tigers minor league pitcher of the year. Started in AA and AAA this year. Had a great year. 37 ball games. He made 14 starts. 9-2 record in the minor leagues. 2.13 ERA. Very good numbers in 4 minor league seasons.
Tyler Austin's had a couple of base hits, scored a couple of runs, driven in 1. Missing down an in ball 1.
And that's supposed to be Hall's signature pitch, the curveball. Not an overpowering fastball. Also mixes in like a cutter, a slider.
There's a strike on the outside corner. Earlier we were talking about the Twins' difficulty in hitting left-handers, and that was one of the things that made Austin attractive to them, a power-hitting right-handed batter, but even he's had some issues. He's hit right-handers better than left-handers in limited duty. Beaten foul 1 and 2.
I think that's 3 curveballs in a row by Hall. Hall got beat up in his major league debut last Saturday against the Indians. 1 inning, about 9 runs, 6 earned on 8 hits and a walk. So welcome to the big leagues.
Welcome to Cleveland.
I think that was that 15-0 ball game.
Yeah.
Somebody had to take the punishment. Hall did. Hall, 25 years old, signed by the Tigers in 2015 out of Missouri State, Springfield, Missouri.
And Austin strikes out 1-1. That'll bring up A-Ray Adrianza. An RBI single in the second, then he hooked a double into the right field corner.
Fastball after all the breaking balls at 91 miles an hour. Yeah, Adrianza having a good day at the plate. Couple hits, as you mentioned. Scored a couple times.
Adrianza is hitting left-handed against a left-hander. Now, why is he doing that? He statistically has hit better right-handed than left-handed, but he's hitting lefty-lefty by choice, unless there's an injury of some sort that we're unaware of that makes it painful for him to swing right-handed. Two and 1. Huh. It's a 6-0 ball game, but we're just in the 6th.
I'm sure there's a reason why he's doing this.
Remember a couple of years ago when the Twins had Aaron Hicks, he gave up hitting one way. But this is peculiar.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see switch hitters that will hit against a knuckleballer.
Right.
You know, the opposite way. If it's a right-hander, they'll go left-handed against him.
Well,
good
a fly ball right center field. He put it in play. We'll have to ask Adrianza and his hitting coach and his manager about that afterwards. 2 down. MLB At Bat is your #1 Twins app. You can customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Twins home screen icons and features like MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
I know why.
Why?
He forgot his helmet. When he put it on, he said, you know, I have my left-handed hitting helmet on, and I can't find my right-handed hitting helmet. So he went up there left-handed.
I hope that's not the reason. Grounded foul.
Now that's only a guess now.
Well, it'll be worth asking. You don't see that very often. As you said, sometimes switch hitters against knuckleballers will do that. Oh, and 2 to Astudillo and another grounder foul. Now, if Astudillo was hitting left-handed, then we'd have a story. He gave it a shot. You just hope there's not a physical reason why he suddenly can't hit right-handed. Was it the '87 World Series? Wasn't Terry Pendleton just able to hit from one side but not the other, right?
Right.
Right-handed, I believe.
Yes.
But could not hit left-handed because of an injury. 2-2 to Astudillo. And another bouncer foul.
Young man does make contact.
A long way, but foul.
Really pitching them inside. Astudillo, 26 years old, out of Venezuela. Originally signed by the Phillies back in 2008.
Sharp ground ball scooped up by Cosma. And it's a 1-2-3-6 for Hall. A 6-0 lead with the Minnesota Lottery. Every day is game day. Today's Minnesota Lottery winner circle features Sirius the dog, whose owner Kristen won $100 in scratch tickets. Are you up for fun? Say I'm in. Well, the dog isn't the winner then. It's Kristen who owns the dog. But it would be easy, I would think, for a dog to utilize the scratch tickets, right? Dogs are always scratching something.
Well, hopefully,
right?
Christian will use that winnings, whatever it is, toward his dog.
Cosma hitting. against Gonsalves, 1-0. Chopper to short. Head high hop for Polanco and a better throw, 1 away. 4 1/3 innings of no-hit baseball. There's been 1 walk from Gonsalves, but again, it was a problem with both hits and walks in his prior big league outings, and he's had very little difficulty with either here this afternoon. 1 down, Jacoby Jones. Chop foul. Most of the outs on ground balls.
Well, very good strike to ball ratio.
And a looping liner for a base hit. And Jones, who earlier drew the walk against Gonsalves, now has the first hit.
That's only the 2nd hit for the Tigers. So to Speedy Jones at first base with 11 stolen bases, 16 attempts. Fastball middle in, and Jones opening up quickly and hitting it into left field for a base hit.
Stewart, the batter, hit by a pitch in the first, bounced to second in the third. Swinging strike 1. One and 1. And on the outside corner, 1 and 2.
Slider right there. So we've seen the slow curveball, the slider, the fastball, good changeup. All 4 pitches working for Gonsalves.
Slow breaking ball in the dirt, and it's 2 and 2. Hope to win the ball game, but so far a huge step forward for Steven Gonsalves. Most of the outs have come on ground balls. If he gets one here, see if the Twins can turn 2. Popped up over the Tiger dugout. After the game, the Twins go to San Francisco. They'll stay in San Francisco, but they'll play in Oakland starting Friday night. Off day tomorrow. And an off day on Monday, and then a 7-game homestand. Fouled back, good cut by Stewart.
Yeah, again, Stewart just getting his feet wet up here. Tigers taking a look at this #1 pick they had in 2015.
If he got a piece of it, but he started a double play.
I think he did. He slowed it down.
And Gonsalves gets an assist on an inning-ending double play and faces just 3 men again in the 6th. 6-0.
Yeah, another big multi-run inning for the Twins. It came in the second inning on 3 hits, 4 runs scored by the Twins. And it took a 4-0 lead into the 4th inning when they added a couple more. Adrianza a big part of that rally also, driving in a run with a double. Dio hitting a RBI double. Twins have that 6-0 lead. Steven Gonzalez. 5 very good innings, only 1 hit allowed, a walk, 3 strikeouts. He has thrown 68 pitches in the 5 innings.
And maybe for the first time in a day he's pitched, we've been able to see him smile, confident that he's really done a nice job here today. And we'll see if he can pitch another inning or 2 here. Pitch count's pretty reasonable. Petit leading off the Twins 7th. Ball 1, now ball 2. Petit with a run batted in on a ground ball in the 2nd. Went down swinging in the 4th. Then Forsythe and Polanco.
Right.
2-1. Fly ball center field. Jones walks over, trots in a couple steps, 1 down. Join Fox Sports North Sunday, September 30th in Dinkytown for Open Streets U of M, a fun, family-friendly way to explore the neighborhood and local businesses. Stop by the Fox Sports North booth and learn more about streaming games live on the Fox Sports app. Register for the chance to win prizes, play games, and more. Visit foxsportsnorth.com/events for details.
Jacoby Jones in center field has been busy. 7 fly ball outs to him here this afternoon.
They've all been routine in nature. I don't know that he's had to move more than 15 feet to catch any of them. Here's Forsythe. 1-1. One and 2. Back to Hall. 2 down. Let's see if Polanco hits right-handed or left-handed. He's going to hit right-handed. You know, in the postgame show, we've got our resident switch hitter, Roy Smalley, there, and I do mean resident. He takes like for the West Coast games, he sleeps on the couch there in the Mall of America studio, and just kind of lives there. Got a little hot plate on the counter.
Veggies out.
He'll maybe address why he thinks Adrianza hit left-handed, and whether he ever did anything like that. 1-0. A rare, quiet ball game for Polanco. 0 for 3 with 3 outfield flies. 2-0.
Well, you never know where your production's going to come from throughout a ball game, and here today it's been the lower part of the lineup that has produced most of the runs.
Again, this is kind of what happened in the last game in Kansas City, a day game, and Paul Molitor didn't play Joe Mauer. Some other regular players were not in the lineup. They scored 9 runs and won the ball game. Polanco takes a 2-out walk, and that'll bring up Cave. Cave with a quiet day. The Top three hitters for the Twins are a combined 0 for 10. Polanco's drawing a walk. It's the first time any of the first three batters have gotten on base. Ball one. Breaking ball, and Cave swings through it. Two and one. As Marnie reported earlier, Eddie Rosario back in the Twin Cities along with Mitch Garver. Rosario getting the quadricep muscle looked at. 2-2. And Cave strikes out to end the inning. A scoreless top of the seventh. The Twins in front 6-0. Pick up his first big league win here, even though he did not start the game. Gabriel Moya opened the game. Had a tough time in the first inning, but he got through it with a 0. And Castellanos with a base hit against Moya, part of what has been a really good month of September for him.
Well, he's had a good solid year all around. He came in hitting .296, 21 home runs, 81 runs batted in, leading the Tigers in that department, but trying to finish strong, and so far so good.
Ball one to Castellanos, then Matuk and Rodriguez.
Gonzalez, what he's trying to do is match what Cole Stewart did here on Monday night. Cole worked 6 innings, picked up the win, gave up a run, but it was an unearned run.
Fly to right, drifting back a few steps. Kepler's there for the catch, 1 away. I mean, this hasn't been flukish. There have been a couple of well-hit balls, but mostly it's been soft contact. Choppers into the ground, lazy fly balls.
Oh, only 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Doing a good job of getting strike 1.
Game may have turned in the Twins' favor in Matuk's first at bat. Moya had hit a batter, given up a base hit. First and second, only 1 out. And Matuk hit a fairly sharp ground ball to Polanco, an inning-ending double play. And the Twins went to bat in the second inning and scored 4 times. 1 strike to Matuk. Foul pop over by the tarp. And Austin has no play. He's had a good defensive road trip with the great catch he made in Kansas City. It's a couple of nice plays today for Austin at first base on errant throws. Oh, and 2 to Matuk. Lunging after it, a chopper up the line, foul.
A big slow curveball right there. Matuk just hit it foul.
You like that pitch? It looks good from up here.
Yeah, he's got that little slider, the slow curveball. He's picked up a couple strikeouts on that curveball. Got good tight break on it. It's not a fast curveball. It's just a big roundhouse type curveball.
Kind of a David Wells type curveball. 2 strikes. Barry Zito had a big breaking ball. Another left-hander. 1 and 2.
Frankie Viola, actually, when he had a curveball, it was something about like that. Forget that he had a good curve. He had a pretty good curveball along with that great changeup.
Swing and a miss.
That looked like the curveball right there that got a strikeout again. Strikeout number 4.
That'll bring up Ronnie Rodriguez. Time now for today's Coors Light refreshing finish. What about today's outing by Steven Gonsalves?
He's done a great job. 5 2/3 innings. He's allowed only 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Picking up some strikeouts and getting strike 1.
There's ball 1 to Rodriguez. Gonsalves got him on a ground ball in the 2nd and a strikeout on the 4th.
I haven't seen Rodriguez before, but boy, he's got a violent swing. He does not get cheated.
Look at those numbers. Toward third. Adrianza fires on the run. A good play. And another 1-2-3 inning for Steven Gonsalves. Of catching the Cubs, but they're 5.5 games back starting play today. Gonsalves with 6 outstanding innings here this afternoon. And now the bullpen might pick the game up. Addison Reed still with the team. Might get a chance to pitch in the 8th inning. He's expected to leave the team and be there for the birth of his second child. Grossman will lead things off against Hall. Then Kepler and Austin, and then Adrianza. Chopped up the line. Grossman got an infield hit his last time up, and he'll get another one now. So Grossman with 3 hits, 2 of them of the infield variety. And his average climbing well into the 270s.
Well, kind of a swinging bunt right there. I thought Rodriguez came in, barehanded it. Look at the play. I think Ron Gardenhire wants to look at it, but a nice play by Rodriguez. The throw just pulled Adduci off the bag. We'll see if it did. And I think they want to see if maybe if Adduci tagged Grossman before he got his foot on the bag.
I don't think they'll review it, even though they
didn't look like contact.
Yeah. So 3 singles for Grossman, and now Kepler 2 outfield flies and a walk. Strike on the outside corner. Four runs in the second, 2 more in the fourth, and that's been it. Twins have been in control of this thing. Sharply hit to the first baseman. Adduci thought about throwing to second, and right along the barrel line, his sights, I think he saw the runner, decided to get the sure out at first base. Grossman advances to second. The Twins wrap up the season, a 4-game series against the White Sox next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 28th to the 30th. A split doubleheader on Friday. And it's also Fan Appreciation Weekend, presented by Caribou Coffee. The first 30,000 fans get a Twins stocking cap on Friday and or Saturday night. Sunday is Kids Appreciation Day, with the first 10,000 kids 12 and under getting a TC Trapper cap. Get your tickets today at twinsbaseball.com. Austin, the batter, 2 singles and a strikeout. Strike 1.
And just let you know that Adrianza on the on-deck circle has his left-handed helmet on.
He's going to do it again. Okay. In the dirt, blocked by McCann. Going to third is Grossman.
That'd be a wild pitch charge to Matt Hall. So Austin has an opportunity to drive in another run here. Just 90 feet away. Infield in for the Tigers.
And on the outside corner, and Austin didn't like it. 1-2.
Austin stands pretty close to the plate. Thought the ball was away.
And it was. Replay brought to you by Carrier. Out of the right field corner, foul. Down the left field line and deep, but foul. Austin checking to see whether he cracked his bat.
Hall in his 3rd inning of relief. Couple strikeouts. Giving up only 1 hit, the infield base hit that Grossman just got.
Fastball down and away, 2-2. Driven to right field. Heading back is Matuk. He's at the warning track to make the catch Coming home is Grossman, and Austin has another run batted in on a deep fly ball to right.
His second of the ball game, and his 40th overall on the season.
Well, let's solve the mystery as to why Adrianza is hitting left-handed against a lefty. Let's go to Marnie Gellner.
I have some answers for you, Dick.
Thank goodness.
Adrianza has a left shoulder soreness. It's just a minor issue, but he's been dealing with it for a few days, and today just happens to be the first time he's faced a left-handed pitcher while he's been bothered by this shoulder. And I had Dustin Morse of the Twins media relations staff confirm it in the clubhouse. It's just a minor issue, but it is an explanation why A-Ray is batting lefty against a lefty.
Well, that explains it then.
Good. You feel a lot better now.
Well, I've never seen it before. Have you?
I've seen guys that maybe struggle from one side and just go ahead and try it.
That's in the left field corner, and that's going to land for a hit. And Adrianza goes to second with a double, hitting left-handed against a left-handed pitcher.
How about that? His third hit of the ball game, his second double. So with the outfield shading Adrianza the other way, Stewart playing really out in the left center. He had to go a long way for this ball, and it just could not catch up to it. So it's a 2-out double for Adrianza.
Astudillo will bat. Done a nice job catching Moya in the first inning, but Gonsalves for the next 6. I asked Paul Molitor the other day, I guess it was yesterday, whether he's seen improvement from Astudillo behind the plate, and capsulized his answer. He said, well, if he doesn't notice anything, he kind of related it to like a home plate umpire or an umpire. If you don't notice them, they've done a good job. That's kind of what the Twins have seen from Astudillo behind the plate. Nothing glaring, just does a nice,
very steady
job behind the plate.
Right.
And he gets an RBI hit to right field. Softly hit in front of Matuk, and Astudillo drives in his third run of the ball game.
Yeah, one thing what you get with this young man at the plate, you know, catching and in the lineup, this young guy can hit. Ron Gardenhire is going to come out and remove his left-hander. But Astudillo, when he does get an opportunity to play, of course, he puts that ball in play. In the minor leagues, a .309 hitter. And he's taking it up here to the big leagues.
First 2 innings were good for Hall. Twins touching him for a couple of runs here in the 8th. He'll come out, and a 2-out pitching change here in the 8th with the Twins up 8-0. Has driven in 3 of the 8 runs. And now Gregorio Petit will hit against Blaine Hardy.
Yeah, Blaine Hardy did some starting for the Tigers, made 13 starts. This is his 26th appearance overall. 4-5 on the year. Good control, 81 in the third innings, only 21 walks, one of those intentional. Hardy in his 5th season with the Tigers. Up and down the last 4 years. Now getting an opportunity to spend a whole season with them.
Petit 0 for 3 with a run batted in on a ground ball back in the 2nd inning. Strike 1.
Hardy with a fastball topped in the low 90s. Curveball, that's his good pitch. And then a hard slider and a changeup.
0-2. Oh, what a catch by Lugo behind the second base bag. Timed his leap perfectly to take a hit away from Petit and end the inning. Thank you, sir. A-Ray Adrianza, and the Twins 6 outs away from completing a 3-game sweep, and the 8th inning will be given to Addison Reed.
Yeah, Addison Reed making his first appearance in this 3-game series. He worked a couple times in Kansas, only one time in Kansas City. Hadn't been used a lot, making his 54th relief appearance.
Yeah, he's had some extended games or days between appearances recently, since pitching in back-to-back games in Texas. Had 5 games off before he pitched against the Royals at Target Field, then had 6 days off before he pitched against the Royals in Kansas City. 3 days later, here he is on the mound, pitching to James McCann. Strike 1.
Yeah, Reed again will give you that little bit of crossfire. He'll step toward the third base line and throw across his body, but the big man can get his chest over that left leg when it lands. So it creates good extension. Some guys will step that way and then they'll almost recoil, but not Addison Reed. He's able to get over the left leg. Good fastball, hard slider, occasional changeup.
Fastball up, and the fastball at 89. Occasionally he'll hit 90. 1-2.
Good slider there.
And a strikeout of McCann.
McCann goes down on strikes for the second time here this afternoon. Moya had 1 strikeout. Gonzalez with 4. And Addison Reed, first batter he faces, he gets a strikeout.
Gonzalez gave the Twins 6 shutout innings and pitched to 19 batters. That's it. Ground ball picked up by Adrianza. Over to Austin, 2 away.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts or descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
2 down, and now Lugo 0 for 2. Just missing the outside corner. Ball 1. Thing that Reed's done a really good job of, and it's not applicable in this situation, but he's done a really nice job with inherited runners. Just 2 of 10 have scored. 2 hopper to short. Polanco over to Austin.
Nice.
Very quick 1-2-3-8 for Addison Reed. Off-season baseball camps are back and are presented by select Heartland Chevy dealers. Camps provide players an opportunity to continue developing their skills, as well as prepare for tryouts and the start of a new season. Included are 5 to 10 hours of instruction addressing general baseball skills, taught by an experienced staff of dedicated instructors. Go to twinsbaseball.com/training for more info. And Forsythe takes strike 2.
Yeah, big curveball right there by Hardy. Got the final out in the 8th inning on a great play by Hugo off the bat of Petit.
Left center towards the Bermuda Triangle, and it drops and is pushed forward by Stewart, and it'll be a pop fly double for Logan Forsythe, and now he's in the hit column.
The Twins have now 10 hits. The previous 9 hits by 4 different players. Stewart gave it an effort, but on the way to trying to make a good catch, hits his glove and then rolls away from Jones also, who was there. So it's a double for Forsythe, his 6th double in a Twins uniform.
And Polanco takes a strike. Down and in. Big swing and a foul. 11 hits for the Twins, 8 runs. And one would think the Twins are 3 outs away from getting Steven Gonsalves his first win. Buznitz was warming up in the first inning, and now it looks like he might warm up for the 9th. Checked his swing, 2-2. Win or lose after today's game, there's only 10 games left on the schedule, 7 of them at home, 3 in Oakland. So if you want to assume the Twins will win this game, then it's 71 and 81, and if they go 7-3 in the final 10 games, the win total is 78. That's not great, obviously, but it's only 7 off of the win total from a year ago. Big swing and a foul. And given everything that's happened to this team since spring training, that's not a bad win total.
Well, I know going into the season they expected better.
Right.
But a lot of things happen
to every team. It just seemed like this was a year where a lot more bad stuff happened than good stuff, including the suspension of their shortstop for the first 80 games. Full count. Some popular players were traded along the way because of the poor start to the season. Injuries. 3-2 to Polanco. Ooh. That ball came in on him, and he half swung, half tried to get out of the way.
I think 100% he tried to get out of the way.
Well, he did swing at it, and he nearly put it in play.
I think that was by accident right here. Whoa. That got in the kitchen.
Lost the bat. The ball flopped toward first base in foul territory. And now ball put into the play in right center field. And the catch made by Matuk. 1 away, and Cave will bat.
Play the new Vikings scratch games from the Minnesota Lottery. With a top prize up to $100,000, it pays to be a fan.
You know, a fly ball right there by Polanco. Matuk did the right thing, called Jones off. Normally the center fielder, but with Jones' momentum going toward right field, Matuk cut in front of him because that kept Forsythe over at second base. Jones catches that ball, he probably tags up and moves over to third.
Cave is 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Strike 1. And he takes strike 2. StatCast AI powered by AWS. Jake Cave, I don't know, he tries to use the big part of the field, doesn't really pull it down the line much. The balls put in play down the right field line are much greater than the ones down the left field line. And third strikeout of the afternoon for Jake Cave.
That curveball got him right there. So Hardy picking up his first strikeout. You know, sitting down in front of us, Jim Beattie. Jim Beattie, a scout. I believe he's with the Seattle Mariners still. Take a big look at the curveball. He's retiring at the end of this year. 37 years been in baseball. Want to wish him good luck. Good man.
His wife is from White Bear Lake, Minnesota. And it's always been fun to be around Jim, and was a pretty good starting pitcher in his day.
With the Yankees and the Mariners.
1-0 to Robbie Grossman, who has 3 hits, 2 of them infield hits, and the average up to 274.
At the All-Star break, he was hitting in about 250 like that. So the second half has been a lot better for Robbie Grossman. Of course, was spent some time on the disabled list.
251 career hitter, hit 246 last year. Popped up, backing out of play, 2-1. And he's probably seen more time in the outfield than anyone would have thought in March, but the absence of Buxton as a fixture in the outfield had part of something to do with that. Now Rosario's come up with a leg injury. That's to left center field. That's hanging in the air for Stewart. And the Twins are scoreless in the 9th, but still lead 8-0. Nothing, and yes, Steven Gonsalves has been the story here today, picking up the game in the 2nd inning, taking it through the 7th, giving up 1 hit and 1 walk, pitched to 1 man over the minimum. And Alan Buznitz will try to close out Gonsalves' first big league win.
Yeah, Buznitz has been struggling as of late. His last 2 appearances, one against the Yankees at home and then Kansas City, faced 7 batters, and they're all able to get on base somehow. A couple home runs allowed, giving up 5 hits, a couple walks. So get this first leading lady right here. And you want to shut out the Tigers too. Tigers have been shut out 17 times this year. That's the most in baseball.
Well, here's the leading lady, and her name is Pete Kozma.
Yep.
Jones and Stewart will follow. Kozma's 0 for 2, a foul fly to right, and a ground ball to short. Base hit to left. Just the 3rd Tiger hit. They've all been singles. And that'll bring up Jacoby Jones, who singled his last time up.
Key to Buznitz, yes, he has a good fastball, doesn't have a lot of movement on it. He's got a very good curveball, but it's a control that he just hasn't harnessed yet of the fastball.
Breaking ball off the plate, ball 1. can see that. It's mid-90s or above at times, and it's a good hard fastball, but unless you've got a complementary breaking ball you can throw for strikes. And there was one of them right there over the inside corner.
Just haven't seen the consistency of that, and also the control of the fastball. Down in the zone.
Breaking ball taken. So 4 pitches to Jones and only 1 fastball.
There's a good fastball right there.
A strikeout for the first out. And that'll bring up Christian Stewart.
Good location. Outer half, lower part of the strike zone. Hardest pitch to hit in baseball. Uh-oh.
We've got an idiot on the field, so we'll have a bit of a delay here. And as the security people were getting to him, he hopped the wall and went into, I believe, the Twins dugout, and now they're scurrying out there. And there's a lot of frantic activity. We won't show the incident, of course, but there's a lot of activity down in the bullpen.
Yeah, he jumped that fence and jumped into the bullpen, which is kind of, you know, probably about 6 feet down. I don't know if he hurt himself, but a lot of players are looking. Robbie Grossman, the left fielder, going out there, taking a look.
He's off the field, so play will resume here momentarily.
Greg Gibson, the umpire at second base, saying, "Let's go, boys." But they're hauling the man away.
The only means of exit from the bullpen area is through the bullpen door, and now look through the warning track in center field, and so it'll take a little while.
Yeah, they have to go all the way to right field, I believe.
And Buznitz can use the time to take a few warm-up pitches. The count to Stewart. Well, there is no count.
No.
It was right before he was stepping in the batter's box. So a 1 out. Well, with 1 out, there's a runner at first, and Stewart will bat. And now I think we are ready to resume play.
Right field gate was closed. Back to action. If that wasn't action enough.
Stewart was hit by a pitch in the first inning. A couple of ground balls have followed, including one that Gonsalves slowed down on a double play grounder his last time up. Ball 1. Two-0. And now 3-0 with Castellanos on deck. First inning when Moya hit Stewart, Castellanos got a hit. It's the only time the Tigers have had more than one runner on in an inning until now. A 1-out walk, putting runners at first and second. And Castellanos to the plate, and Astudillo to the mound.
Trying to get Buznich back in the strike zone. Make sure, too, with a runner at second base, what they're using, what sign. Saw it in the first inning. Moya and Astudillo were crossed up with a runner at second.
Castellanos singled to left in the first. Since then, a ground ball to third and a fly ball to right. Driven to the right field corner. It's down for a hit off the wall. And the Tigers have a run with Cosma coming in. It's a double for Castellanos. An 8-1 ball game.
Well, Castellanos continues to have a very good series and a very good month of September. Picking up an RBI double, his 82nd run batted in on his 42nd double.
Yeah, that's 96, but look at the location. It's center cut to the Tigers' best hitter. The Tigers are on the board. 2 men in scoring position, 1 out. The batter is Mikey Matuk. He drove in all 3 Tiger runs last night. Breaking ball off the plate.
Until you can throw that over consistently, what are the hitters going to sit on? They're going to sit on a fastball.
And as the count gets deeper, they're going to be sitting on it even more. Fastball fouled, and it's 1-1.
Matuk was ready to swing at that pitch.
Oliver Drake getting loose. Buznich can throw 95, 96. Missing inside, but the problem is the major league fastball, the average fastball these days is just a tick over 93. So while 95 15 years ago might have been on the very top end, this is fouled away, and Austin's going to chase it, but it is out of play. You know, 95 just isn't that extraordinary anymore. Every team, all 30 teams, they've got relief pitchers that can throw in the mid-90s.
Yeah, but a lot of those relievers can hit their spots too.
Right.
Buznich cannot hit his spots. He's all over the place.
2-2. Fastball missing, and it's 3-2.
Well, Twins up by 7, 3-2 count. Got to make him swing the bat right here. That'll be a fastball away.
High fly center field. Cave is there. Makes the catch. Both runners will tag, and the Tigers have a second run. It's 8-2.
Yeah, Stewart stumbled, leaving third base. And Dave Clark laughing at him, the third base coach. Gardy's smiling. Right there, watch him right there. Whoa, oh, okay, now I take off. Thought he was a sprinter. Use that as a starting block.
Almost left too early.
Get back.
8-2. Tigers down to their last out. And here's Ronnie Rodriguez. Chances are the Tiger manager will have a little fun with that in the clubhouse afterwards. He's already having some fun with it. Ground ball, Polanco to Austin, and the Twins have completed their 3-game sweep over the Tigers.
Well, good pitching, great timely hitting by the Twins, a lot of multi-run innings. But the story today, Steven Gonsalves, 6 shutout innings, allowed only 1 hit, picked up his first major league win. Good win for the Twins, good sweep for the Twins.
and Tom Hanneman. The Twins will take their act to the West Coast, take on a really good Oakland A's ball club, and we'll see how this road trip ends. Right now, they've got a winning record at 4-3.